You wake up, the alarm goes off, and before your feet even hit the floor, you already feel it. That heavy, foggy, almost painful exhaustion sitting right behind your eyes. You slept. You definitely slept. Maybe even 8 hours. But you feel like you didn't sleep at all. And here's the thing nobody is telling you. That feeling is not about how long you slept. It is about what is happening inside your bedroom while you sleep. There is something in your sleeping environment that is quietly, invisibly, and systematically destroying the quality of your rest every single night. And most people never figure it out. They just keep waking up exhausted. They keep pushing through their days on caffeine and willpower. They keep telling themselves they are just not a morning person. But that is not the truth. The truth is far more specific than that, and today we are going to go deep into exactly what it is. Now before we go further, I want you to know something. There is a program linked in the description below this video. It takes everything we are talking about today and gives you a real structured path forward. I am not going to spend a lot of time on it right now, but I will say this. The people who have already used it are sleeping differently within days, not months. And if you are someone who has been struggling with this for a while, every night you wait is another night of genuinely terrible sleep. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Let me paint you a picture. You are lying in bed tonight. The room looks fine. It feels normal, nothing seems wrong, but invisible forces are working against your nervous system. Your brain is trying to transition into deep sleep, the kind that actually restores your body, repairs your muscles, consolidates your memories, and regulates your hormones. And it cannot get there. It keeps getting pulled back up toward lighter sleep stages. You stir, you shift, you half wake up without even realizing it. By morning, you have spent 8 hours in bed but maybe only 45 minutes in genuinely restorative deep sleep. That is the silent killer. Not some dramatic disease, not some rare condition, just the invisible architecture of your sleeping environment working against your biology. Let us talk about light first. Not just bright light, any light, the tiniest sliver of light sneaking under your bedroom door, the soft glow of a charging cable, the faint pulse of a standby indicator on a television. These things feel harmless. But to the ancient part of your brain that controls sleep, even the faintest photon of light is a signal. It says sunrise. It says wake up. It tells your pineal gland to dial back melatonin production. And when your melatonin gets suppressed, the entire cascade of deep sleep chemistry gets disrupted. Researchers studying circadian biology have found that even extremely dim ambient light at night measurably impacts sleep architecture. Your brain is far more sensitive to light than most people realize. It evolved over millions of years in conditions of near total darkness, and now it is trying to sleep in a room full of little glowing things. Here is where it gets personal, because you have probably already tried the obvious stuff. You bought blackout curtains, you turn your phone face down, and you still wake up tired, which means either your blackout curtains are not truly blocking all the light coming in at the edges, or light is not your only problem. Because here is the brutal truth. Most bedrooms have not one silent sleep killer, they have several, and they are all stacking on top of each other. Temperature is the second one, and this one surprises people more than anything else. Your core body temperature needs to drop by approximately 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit for your brain to initiate deep sleep. That is biology. That is not optional. If your bedroom is too warm, your body fights against this process all night long. It is like trying to fall into a deep restorative pool of sleep while someone keeps pushing you back toward the surface. You never quite get there. Studies conducted across sleep medicine facilities have consistently shown that bedroom temperatures above 68 degrees Fahrenheit meaningfully reduce time spent in slow wave and REM sleep. And most people sleep in rooms that are several degrees warmer than that. Most people sleep warm because it feels cozy. But feeling cozy and sleeping deeply are not the same thing, not even close. Now stop for a second. Think about the last time you woke up genuinely refreshed, not just functional, actually energized, actually clear. If you are struggling to remember that feeling, that is important information, because it means your sleep problem has likely been compounding for a long time. And compounding sleep deprivation does not stay in the bedroom. It comes with you everywhere. It affects your mood before you even have your first conversation of the day. It makes you sharper in your reactions and slower in your thinking. It quietly inflates your stress hormones. Cortisol runs higher when your sleep is fragmented. And when cortisol runs high chronically, it creates a feedback loop where you feel wired but tired at night, unable to fall into the depth of sleep your body desperately needs. You spend more time in that half-awake purgatory. And the cycle gets worse. Sleep researchers have documented this loop extensively. The physiology here is not mysterious. It is just unknown to most people because no one explains it simply. So let me keep going. Because there is a third killer that almost nobody talks about. Sound. And not just loud noise. Intermittent sound, the specific pattern of sound that peaks, drops, and peaks again. A car passing outside, a heating vent clicking on, a partner shifting in bed, the refrigerator compressors cycling. Each one of these acoustic events, even ones quiet enough that they do not wake you consciously, can trigger a microarousal in your nervous system. A microarousal is a brief elevation in brain activity that pulls you up out of deeper sleep stages without fully waking you. You do not remember it, but it happened, and it happened probably dozens of times tonight. The cumulative effect of those microarousals is exactly what creates that brutally exhausted feeling in the morning even after a full night in bed. Here is what the research shows. Consistent low-level background sound, specifically a type called pink noise or brown noise, can actually mask those disruptive sound spikes and help the brain stay in deeper sleep stages longer. This is not pseudoscience, this is documented across multiple controlled sleep studies. But the flip side is also true. If your bedroom environment exposes you to those sudden acoustic interruptions with no buffer, your brain is being yanked toward lighter sleep stages all night without you knowing it. And here is the thing I really want you to sit with. All of these problems are fixable. That is the part that should give you hope. Because this is not about something wrong with you. You are not broken. Your brain is not defective. Your sleep problem is almost certainly environmental. It is structural. And structural problems have structural solutions. Let me tell you what the other side looks like. Because this is not just about sleeping better in the abstract. This is about your actual life changing in ways that feel almost unbelievable until you experience it yourself. When people genuinely fix their sleep environment and start getting consistent, deep, restorative sleep, the first thing most of them notice is the mornings. They wake up without an alarm and feel something they almost forgot was possible. Clarity. Real mental clarity. Not the kind you borrow from caffeine, the kind that is just there, that is ready, that makes you feel like yourself again. Then comes the energy through the afternoon. That wall you hit at 2 or 3 in the afternoon, the one where your brain starts to slow and your focus dissolves, that wall is largely a sleep debt problem. When your sleep is right, that wall does not appear. You just keep going. Not wired, just genuinely sustained. The emotional changes are the ones that often shock people most. Because when you are sleep deprived, even mildly, your emotional regulation suffers significantly. Your patience shortens. Your reactions quicken. The small things feel bigger than they should. And when your sleep is restored, the small things start feeling small again. You feel more like the person you want to be. People notice it in how you carry yourself. People notice it in your presence. Productivity research consistently shows that people operating on high-quality sleep outperform their sleep-deprived counterparts across almost every measurable metric. Decision-making, creativity, physical performance, emotional intelligence. Sleep touches all of it, so when you fix your sleep, you are not just fixing your mornings, you are upgrading your entire operating system. Now here is where disqualification matters. This is not for someone who just wants a few tips and tricks to dabble with. Those exist everywhere. If you just want surface-level advice, you can get that in 30 seconds on any platform. What we are talking about here is the person who is genuinely exhausted, the person who has tried the obvious things and they have not worked, the person who knows something is wrong and is finally ready to understand it at a real level and actually do something about it. That person is ready for what the program in the description offers, because it is not about one trick, it is about systematically rebuilding your sleep environment and your sleep habits from the ground up, using what the research actually supports, not what sounds good. And the people who have gone through it describe it as the most impactful change they have made to their health in years. Not one of many changes. The most impactful, because everything else in your life is downstream from how you sleep. One more thing before we get to where this leads. There are millions of people walking around right now who have adapted to feeling terrible. They have decided this is just what being an adult feels like. They are wrong. Adaptation is not the same as being okay. You can get used to almost anything. That does not mean it is not destroying you slowly. You deserve to wake up feeling good. That is not an indulgent want. That is a biological right you have been robbed of by your own bedroom environment. And the fix is closer than you think. The program linked in the description below is the next step. Not someday. Right now. Because every night that passes the same way as last night is a night your body did not get what it needed. And those nights stack. The people who have already moved through this program did not wait for a perfect moment. They simply decided that waking up exhausted was no longer acceptable. And that decision changed everything. The link is there, it is waiting. And so is the sleep you have been missing.